Welcome to Charts Today. My name's David Linton, and today's edition for Monday, the 5th of June, comes to you from London. And a very sad city we are this morning after another terrorist attack, and our thoughts go out to everybody who's been affected. And yeah, it's a tough environment, and markets seem to be taking it in their stride. We're seeing the dollar index is still bearish below the cloud. We do have this downside target of 93. That would take us to a level that was not as low as last year, so that would still be a higher low, but it would take us bearish on the long-term chart, which we didn't do last year on the lagging line. So it will be very interesting to see whether we can hold this long-term uptrend. We haven't reversed that trend yet. But of course the medium and short-term charts are bearish, and that is bullish for the euro. Again, we need to see a move above these levels to negate these downside targets, and we're just starting to see the euro recover here, so that is looking stronger. We've got upside to 118, 115. So it'll be interesting to see if we can just hold this this level on the euro. Japanese yen, we're seeing yen strengthening very short term here. This is a fall in the dollar versus the yen. So the yen is actually, the dollar is bearish against the yen, or if we like, the yen is bullish. Bullish on the long term, bullish on the short term, and bullish on the medium and short term. So the dollar is weakening here, the yen is strengthening. And if we take a look at sterling, we are very flat this morning, and we're still in this long-term downtrend, of course. We do have a new small upside target to 136, but at the moment we are still bearish on the long-term chart and just slightly bullish on the medium short-term chart. So that will be interesting to see whether that can play out. Looking at euro sterling, euro has the upper hand at the moment. Sterling is bearish against the euro. And looking against the Swiss franc, again, sterling is bearish, just becoming bearish on the medium-term chart. Downside target here of 120. So that's fairly bad news for sterling, and also on the Aussie dollar, we're seeing that as well. Taking a look at US stock markets, we closed on a strong note on Friday, another new all-time high. We see here on the weekly chart that really shows another strong week. There's Friday there, that last close on the chart, and we see the short-term chart just breaking out. We've got upside to 25.33, that's nearly 4% upside, and of course these bigger upside targets on the medium and long-term charts. The Nasdaq, we've got 6 and 7% upside on these charts. Again, another strong week. Nasdaq closing at a new all-time high, and the Dow Jones just starting to break out of its range and looking bullish as well. So we are just seeing US markets starting to accelerate. The Russell 2000, not quite broken out of its range, but we are seeing here the short term is bullish. A shortage of upside targets in the short term. There is one here at 6%, but the broad market is still looking pretty good. Looking at the futures this morning, the S&P future is down 0.1%, and the Nasdaq E-mini just under that. So there's no real heads up yet as to which way the markets will open. FTSE's down very slightly this morning, down 5 points, but still looking bullish. A slow rate of climb here, but we are still marching up the hill gradually. And the FTSE 250 again, just slightly in the doldrums, but the long and medium term charts still looking very bullish. DAX is bullish above the cloud on all three time frames. The Nikkei is as well, even though it's off just a slight amount overnight. And the Hang Seng also looking bullish above the cloud on all three time frames. And Shanghai recovering, but in a little bit of a range here for Shanghai, and really needs to get out of this long-term bear trend. The Sensex, the Indian market, looking very strong. This 27% upside target now activated, 42% long-term, and we've got short-term targets of about 1.8%, so looking very strong in that market. And the Australian market just starting to recover through the cloud as well, so that's looking better. Brent crude is just selling off a little bit this morning. We're seeing that we're actually up slightly, but we see we're in the medium-term downtrend below the cloud, so quite interesting. We're just starting to hit that resistance on the short-term chart, and hence just selling off now as we speak. But interestingly, the long-term trend is still bullish, but the medium-term trend is bearish, as is the short term. And we're heading into that time of year where we normally get a second half of the year as less good for crude oil. So we would expect the seasonality to take hold. WTI also looking bearish. US nat gas just holding the $3 level just at 304. And if we look at some of the other commodities, copper down about 1% at the moment, so that's just looking bearish short and medium term. Some really big moves on some of the softs. Coffee hitting new lows there. That's bearish now on all three charts, and further downside to play there. Cocoa is bearish on the medium and long term chart, just holding on to its bullish position in the short term. Sugar really looking very bearish below the cloud on all three time frames. If we go to gold, gold had a jump on Friday afternoon, jumped into the 1270s, and this morning we're above 1280. So gold is starting to run. What is significant, we've got this 1293 upside target, and if we look at the medium term chart, we've got this 1396 target. If we move just that little bit higher, this trend reverses and this target disappears, so then we'd have the upside to play for. What is really significant though, and we're bullish on all three time frames on the cloud, is that we have actually reversed the trend on this long term chart. So this downtrend has now been broken with the move through that level, and we're activating. We've got an upside target of 1530 that's activated. That's 19.5% away. So that's where we're looking to for gold, these upside targets. And of course, if we take out that the high that we saw last year, then this high here, if we take that out, then we would deactivate this downside target. Gold is looking more and more bullish, it has to be said. And looking at silver, also looking bullish, recovering through the cloud on the medium term chart. Upside targets. Not quite reversed the downtrend here. Gold is a little bit clearer. Taking a look at 10-year Treasury yields, they're bearish on the medium and short term charts to 2.16%. So sentiment just changed a little bit there on US interest rates. Apple had a good day on Friday, moving higher and looking bullish on all three charts. Google again looking amazing on the long and medium term charts. Amazon also looking great, holding that $1,000 mark now. And Facebook also moving to new highs, so looking very strong too. And Microsoft also a big jump on Friday, so it's looking bullish as well. That's it for today. Until tomorrow, happy charting. See you then.